Mariah Carey. She co-sang and co-wrote a song called One Sweet Day. Unfortunately, she has experienced one bittersweet day. No, this isn't a joke. This is actual real life. We'll touch on why later. You're watching BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson and Roku TV via BS3, BS3TVLive.com, and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. You are listening to it live on the Real Wise Radio Network, and it starts right now. Well, good morning, Shifter. Welcome to BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson. And for the next 60 minutes, sit back and relax as we get and keep you involved, engaged, entertained, enlightened, and spiritually fed, along with talking about Mariah Carey dealing with a bittersweet day. In our cover story, we're also going to touch on the lifetimes and unfortunate passing of one Sid Udy. Now, you may not know him by that name. Some do. Most don't. But you may know him by other monikers such as Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, and Psycho Sid. We will touch on his life in the program Spotlight portion of the show. And in Lighting the Way, we will touch on healing power. How powerful is it? And how we should take grieving as we are healing. And how should we be as bystanders of someone who is grieving? All of that is for later. But for now, let's start you up. And here's what's taking place in the world today. A white shark that found itself stranded on a beach in Massachusetts was held back into the water by a group of kind beachgoers. Liza Phillips was just tossing a football with her father and brother at Low Beach in Nantucket when they noticed, quote, a beach creature in the distance, close quote. She grabbed a phone and ran toward the animal. And Phillips told the story on Story Full. Now, she went on to say, quote, we were all in shock watching this beautiful beast struggling and dying, full of sandburn rashes. I felt helpless watching it flounder in the surf, but I remember looking back and seeing a friend of ours take off his shirt, and I knew we both had to step in and help the shark back to sea. Close quote. I am so glad that we do have wonderful, good Samaritans like that. Wonderful story. Former President Donald Trump on Sunday cast doubt about whether he would participate in the first presidential debate against Vice President Kamala Harris. Trump went to Truth Social and he posted the following, quote, why would I do the debate against Kamala Harris on that network? Close quote. That network being ABC. Now, he criticized Jonathan Call's interview with Tom Cotton on ABC's This Week, as well as the show's panel of commentators. ABC News is set to host the debate on September 10th. Excuse me. It is the only showdown both nominees have agreed to ahead of Election Day on November. The agreement came after significant back and forth, with Trump calling for a debate on September 4th, hosted by Fox News, that the vice president and her campaign has not accepted. Robert Kennedy Jr. said that his family members are free to disagree with his endorsement of former President Donald Trump after five of them issued a statement calling the move, quote, a betrayal, close quote. The independent presidential hopeful suspended his campaign and backed the Republican nominee Friday. The nephew of former President John F. Kennedy and son of former Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy Sr. He is part of one of the nation's most prominent political dynasties, but RFK's family has long disavowed his candidacy and his history of spreading conspiracy theories. His sister Carrie Kennedy released a statement with 4 other members of the family to X, saying, quote, "Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. It's a sad ending to a sad story." Close quote. Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance said that he has no hesitations about accepting Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s endorsement, although he doesn't agree with some of his conspiracy theories in an interview that aired on Sunday. The independent presidential candidate suspended his campaign. He now is endorsing Donald Trump, did so officially on Friday at a Trump rally in Glendale. Now, speculation about whether Kennedy was pulling more votes for Republicans or Democrats has surrounded his White House bid in the recent months. The nephew of John F. Kennedy lost his support of the family after sticking to several unfounded claims about COVID-19 vaccines and mass shootings. In an interview with Meet the Press, moderator Kristen Welker, Vance was asked about the conspiracy theories that Kennedy has spread. And he, in particular, said that he did not agree with Kennedy's stance, but he, quote, "won't take sides," close quote, on 9/11. TLC singer Tion Watkins, or T-Boz, is, quote, "on the mend," close quote, after suffering a medical emergency before taking the stage on Friday. The girl group, consisting of Watkins and Rosanda Thomas, aka Chili, they canceled their August 23rd appearance at the New York State Fair less than an hour before they were set to perform after T-Boz suffered from, quote, "a severe abdominal blockage," close quote, according to a release posted on Instagram from the event's organizers. The statement that they released said as follows, quote, "After delivering an electrifying performance in Toledo on Thursday, TLC was eagerly anticipating their next stop at the New York State Fair in Syracuse. However, shortly after arriving in Syracuse, T-Boz Watkins experienced sudden and severe nausea, vomiting, and intense abdominal cramps," close quote. Our prayers are to you, T-Boz. Hope everything is well, and I hope you can get back to doing what you do best, which is to perform and do what you love the most. Lea Michele is officially a mother of 2. Now, you may know her name, may not. She was the star, of course, of the former TV show Glee back in the 2010s. She announced the arrival of her second baby with her husband, Zandy Reich, on Instagram on Sunday. She said, quote, "Our hearts are full," close quote. And she revealed her daughter's name at the time. The pair revealed the baby number 2's name, Emery Sol Reich. And Michelle shared a photo of her and her 4-year-old son, Ever. And the 2 of them and her husband are holding the newborn's leg. The arrival of baby Emery comes a few months after Michelle announced on March 27th that she was pregnant. Sharing 3 photos of her baby bump, the actress wrote on Instagram at the time, quote, "Mommy, Daddy, and Ever are overjoyed," close quote. Congratulations to you. I hope, Leah, you recover very quickly, and I hope that family of 4 is blessed with a whole lot of love. Yellowstone First Look Week at USA Today kicks off with the passionate couple at the center of Taylor Sheridan's hit series, Yellowstone, Beth and Rip. Through every kind of Dutton family drama and intrigue, fans have counted on one steady thing in the changing fortunes of Yellowstone. That is the decades-long romance between John Dutton's fiery-tempered daughter, Beth Dutton, played by Kelly Riley, and Dutton's longtime right-hand man and right-hand ranchman, Rip Wheeler, played by Cole Hauser. The unusual love story will become more pivotal in the long-awaited second half of season 5, which completes the series and kicks off November the 10th. And you can see that 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by then, and also 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, without John Dutton, as Kevin Costner has parted ways with the Yellowstone franchise before its final episodes. Power couple Beth and Rip, exclusively in the first look at USA Today, will take on an even greater prominence with the patriarch Dutton out the picture as the Modern Western Series draws to a conclusion. Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl promotion has arrived again. The company announced on Monday its most popular promotion is available beginning yesterday, actually, August 26th. It will extend all the way to November 17th. The deal is available at Olive Garden locations nationwide, starting at $13.99, and features endless pasta, along with unlimited amounts, as they say, of breadsticks and soup or salad, according to a news release obtained by USA Today on Monday. Customers will also have the choice to add a never-ending toppings for $4.99, according to Olive Garden. The release that they have released from Jamie Bunker, Senior Vice President of Marketing at Olive Garden, said, quote, "Never Ending Pasta Bowl is one of our guests' favorite times of year, and we are excited to welcome them back around our dining tables at the same time as the last or past 2 years." Close quote. The following sports update is brought to you by the Playmakers Blog Network. All right, let's go to the hardwood and let's go basketball. Let's go college basketball. Duke star freshman Cooper Flagg is the newest athlete to sign with New Balance. They are based in Sowegan, Maine, and Flagg is from Newport, Maine, which is 25 miles from New Balance's headquarters. Flagg said about the pairing, quote, "The connection with New Balance brand as a family company and a company with Maine roots means a lot to me," close quote. To the NFL, and the Cowboys, along with CeeDee Lamb, their star wide receiver, they've agreed to a 4-year, $136 million deal yesterday. The deal makes Lamb the second highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. Lamb gives $38 million in signing bonus as well. That's the largest ever given to a wide receiver. $100 million of that $136 million deal is guaranteed. Oh, and Packers acquired quarterback Malik Willis from the Tennessee Titans, and the Packers get in exchange a 7th-round draft pick for next year. To the diamond, shall we? And Danny Jansen becomes the first player to play for 2 teams in the same game as well as the same inning. Jansen took the field in Boston on Monday as the Blue Jays and Red Sox finished up a rain-delayed game from June 26th. Jansen was a Blue Jays member for the original game, but last month was traded to the Red Sox. To tennis, and the U.S. Open began in beautiful fashion as the defending champ on the women's side, Coco Gauff. She began her journey to repeat with a straight sets victory, as well as 14th-seeded Madison Keys and 13th-seeded Emma Navarro. Aryna Sabalenka, the second-seeded in the tournament, she dominated in the opening round, and Coco Gauff actually is ranked number 3 in this tournament. On the men's side, number 13 seed Ben Shelton, number 12 seed Taylor Fritz, they cruised in the opening round themselves. And the number 2 ranked and Olympic champion Novak Djokovic, he cruised late at night in Queens. Day 2 will feature the number 1 seeded Iga Swiatek in the women's side, number 5 seeded Jasmine Paolini, and number 6 seed Jessica Pegula. On the men's side, you'll have the top seeded Yannick Sinner, number 3 seed Carlos Alcaraz, and number 14 seed Tommy Paul. They will go for the men. This weather update is brought to you by the Weather Channel. And over in the Pacific Northwest, it will be rain, and more rain with a high of 60 degrees in Seattle. There'll be thunderstorms, a high of 80 in Minneapolis. It'll be mostly sunny with a little bit of a thunderstorm and a thunderclap with a high of 98 in Chicago. Sunny and 100 in St. Louis. Sun and a thunderstorm with a high of 94 in Detroit. Over on the East Coast, it will be bright, balmy, and sunny with a high of 79 in Boston, sunny and 87 in New York, mostly sunny and 92 in Washington. Down south, it'll be partly cloudy and 89 in Miami, sunny and 93 in Atlanta, mostly sunny and 99 in Memphis, and mostly cloudy and 93 in New Orleans. Down in the southwest, it will be mostly cloudy and 92 in San Antonio, mostly sunny and 96 in Dallas, rain and a thunderstorm, thunderstorm and a sun mix with a high of 89 in Houston. In the Rockies, it will be sunny and 88 degrees in Denver. The hot spot in the country will be in Phoenix. The desert will be hot and sunny with a high of 109 there. It'll be sunny and 103 in Las Vegas. And out on the West Coast, it'll be partly cloudy skies and 87 degrees in Los Angeles. And it'll also be partly cloudy skies, but with a high of 75 in the Bay Area. And that is your look on weather for today. And now you have been properly started up. Coming up later, singer-songwriter Mariah Carey suffered not one, but two tragedies on the same day. That'll be our cover story. And in lighting the way, healing power. How powerful is it for the person receiving it? And how powerful of a gift is it when you can offer it? That is in lighting the way. But coming up next, we will remember Sid Udy, or Sid Vicious, or Sid Justice, or Psycho Sid. Well, I'll discuss all that later. You're watching BS3 Presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on Roku TV via BS3, BS3TVLive.com, and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. You are listening to it live on Real Wise Radio. And we will be right back right after this.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. If you want to have a riveting interview session, all you have to do is go to this particular program. Join my main man, Wise Alefe, as he gets his James Lipton on, as he and a guest talk about life, and you'll get a couple of nuggets that will help you out. Stuck in My Mind podcast comes to you live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on Roku TV via BS3 and the Stuck in My Mind podcast YouTube channel. That is Stuck in My Mind podcast live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on Roku TV. Just hit the BS3 logo on the Roku TV app, bs3tvlive.com, and the Stuck in My Mind podcast YouTube channel. Well, Shifter, it is great to see you. I'm glad that you were here. Welcome back to BS3 Presents the Morning Shift for Cole Johnson. Cole Johnson here. And if you don't want to simply be a voyeur, which if you're watching, that's what you are, but you want to be a participant, we encourage all of that. How? Go to the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. I said the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel, where BS3 presents the Morning Shift live with Cole Johnson, comes to you every weekday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel, that's where you go, where you can have your comments read on air like I'm doing now as I shift to Shift Nation. And Snowman, he says, good morning, Shift Nation. Snowman checking in from home. What? I said home. What? I'm sorry, my bad. And we talk NFC East and WNBA today on Snowman in the Morning. You can cast out on Snowman Multimedia, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. if you're up out on the West Coast. That is daylight time. Ryan McCarthy, no credentials required fame. Yesterday, he was on for his CFL stint with Total Football Talk. We totally appreciate you. Both Drew and I do. He says, good morning, fellow shifters. I hope everything is well with you, man. And tune in tonight. That's right, tonight. And I think he is also going to be doing some shows very soon on Saturday as well. No credentials required on the No, CREDS REQ YouTube channel. That's No Creds REQ. You can catch him and Dustin Henry as they talk about sports with a different twist. Yeah, check that out on the No Creds REQ YouTube channel. And the playmaker, going by the Gunman, the man who supplies you with the sports updates on this show. He says, good morning, Shift Nation. Good morning to you, sir. Playmaker, I hope everything is well with you. He had a wonderful episode that he did yesterday on Shooting Lights Out. He'll, of course, be talking about week 0 and week 1 upcoming on Bearing Down the Gridiron. That'll be coming later this week. And then he'll probably touch on a little bit of the Rams talk and Ramley talk in the week to come as well. Oh, program note. Thank you, Ryan. He says, sorry, we had to reschedule No Criticism Required to tomorrow night. Dustin has a family commitment. Same time, though. That'll be 8 Eastern, 7 Central on the PM side. Wednesday night, this Wednesday. Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I hope everything is well with Dustin. Unfortunately, we have to give our condolences to one Sid Udy's family. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, who the heck is Sid Udy? That name doesn't sound familiar. And I can understand that. Because he went by many different monikers and he went by many different names. But the intensity and the big man that was Sid Udy was all the same. And in today's program Spotlight, we will touch on the man that was known as Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, and Psycho Sid. The wrestler Sid Udy passes away at the age of 63 from a years-long battle with cancer, and it's unfortunate. Far too young. Far too young. Many of you may know that he was also a former multiple-time WWE champion. Sid Udy went by Psycho Sid then, when he was the WWE champ at the time. He battled cancer for a long time, and the announcement came from his son yesterday, Gunnar Udy. He took to Facebook and he posted his condolences and made the announcement there by saying the following, quote, I'm deeply saddened to share that my father, Sid Udy, has passed away from battling cancer for several years. He was a man of strength, kindness, and love. His presence will be greatly missed. We appreciate your thoughts and prayers as we grieve this loss. Close quote. Now, this was a wrestling career that began in the late 1980s, and Yudi was briefly a member of the Ric Flair helmed stable called the Four Horsemen. And that was before he joined the WWE later in that day. Well, a few years later, about 5 or 6 years later. I'm sorry, about a couple of years later. And this was his Sid Justice stint. Now, he had this bold, intense, and unpredictable persona, which matched this 6'10", 300-pound physique. And Yudi rose quickly into the spotlight in both companies. That would be WCW and in WWE. And he had a memorable performance in the Royal Rumble where he was one of the last three in the match. Actually, he was the last person to be eliminated in that legendary match, which Ric Flair won the WWE Championship that very match. And that, of course, kickstarted the WrestleMania feud with Hulk Hogan. Yudi and Hogan will be one of the main event matches at WrestleMania 8, which took place 2 months later at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. I'm sorry, the former Hoosier Dome, because now that's no longer, well, anyway. After leaving the company shortly thereafter, Yudi returned to wrestling in 1995 in the WWE, and he introduced the iconic character called Psycho Sid. And he would win the WWE Championship at Survivor Series in 1986 after defeating Shawn Michaels that year. He would, of course, lose it in the Royal Rumble, I believe, and then he would regain it a few days later in 97, and he went all the way to WrestleMania 13. He defended against Undertaker, and he dropped it the main event there. Yudi left WWE later on in 1997, and he also had stints in WCW a little later. And he had a match in 2001. He tried to do a leg kick from the top rope. He landed really awkwardly on the plant leg, and his leg just snapped so viciously that the leg injury nearly ended his wrestling career. Now, he made his last appearance at WWE in 2012. Now, his wrestling career, just mentioned, he was, of course, a WWE champion twice. He was also a WCW champion twice. And he also held the U.S. championship once. WWE released a statement about the charismatic figure, saying, quote, Sid was one of the most imposing and terrifying competitors of his generation, with a natural charisma that immediately connected with the WWE universe. Known as the master and ruler of the world, Sid's reputation as one of the toughest, most thrilling superstars cemented his legacy in WWE, and his influence can still be seen in wrestling rings around the world. Close quote. Well, he did pose an imposing figure, but whenever people talked about him outside the ring, people said that there couldn't have been a nicer person. And he was this down-to-earth guy. His roots actually were from the Memphis area. I think he billed himself from West Memphis, Arkansas, which goes us right across the Mississippi River. And many will tell that he may have had some rough edges about him, but he shot you straight. And as menacing as he was, as an imposing figure as he was, and as a supposedly polarizing character that he played, there was just no stopping any one of us from connecting with him. And all I have to say to you, Sid, is thank you for the many, many, many years of entertaining us. And I hope that your family heals and heals quickly from your unfortunate passing. Sid Yudi, who also went as Sid Justice, Sid Vicious, and Psycho Sid. He is dead, at the age of 63. And that is today's program spotlight. Now, not with as somber of a message, but ones that actually are uplifting. Join my three girls, Nicole, Mika, and Alicia, the three queens, and join my king. No, not to be confused with my king, Ivan Dawkins, as the four of them discuss life with a life ear to the street bent and a spiritual bent as well. Queen 3 and King, they come to you always live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on the Roku TV via BS3, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, the BS3 Network Facebook page, and the Queen 3 King Podcast 59 YouTube channel. That's right. Join the seasoned queen, the educated queen, the baby queen, and the king himself, Queen 3 and King. They come to you live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on the Roku TV, just at the BS3 logo on the Roku TV app, BS3TVLive.com, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, the BS3 Network Facebook page, and the Queen 3 King Podcast 59 YouTube channel. Coming up next, Mariah Carey. One bittersweet day, and we'll touch on why she had a bittersweet day after the break. You're watching BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on Roku TV via BS3, BS3TVLive.com, and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. You are listening to it live on the Real Wise Radio Network. We will return right after this. The moderator.
As woman, you can't be too friendly because the minute you're friendly, then they think you're flirting.
The level head.
So that thing is over. So I'm not looking at men like that anymore.
The truth slayer.
Okay, what in the HPV yeast infection is going on over here?
The X Factor.
So I'd rather you tell me everything up front and let's start fresh.
The intersection of life and spirituality never sounded this good. BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Kentucky, home of great natural scenery and Churchill Downs. The Bluegrass State has offered 3 jewels. The University of Kentucky.
And the Kentucky coronation is complete.
Terry Brown.
Some people from Louisville, from Kentucky. I don't like the Derby. Okay, cool. Like, all right, I'm going to keep it moving.
And Vinny Hardy.
Us growing up on the border, we all went to school with Tennessee fans. We all had some teachers that was Tennessee fans.
BS3 Network proudly presents 2 men with Kentucky on their minds and all the sports matters at hand. Cats Talk Wednesday, live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
So, sit back, tune in, tell a friend. This Dope Cookie Show, we about to get started, and it's about to go down. Check me out.
Join your culinary master of ceremonies, Chef Jeff, as he introduces to you This Dope Cooking Show. Live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. Welcome back to BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. I'm Cole Johnson. And if you happen to have a Dallas Cowboy fan in your life, introduce them to this. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. I just felt that in my spirit. Shifter, I'm so glad that you're here. And everything is wonderful and lovely over on this side. And a programming note, and I'll step aside to do this programming note right now. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The BS3 Awards will take place September 8th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It will be on the BS3 Network YouTube channel. If you are available in the area, it will be taking place at the Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church in Fate, Texas. I'm sorry, FATE, which is a suburb of Dallas, Fort Worth. So if you're in the Metroplex area and you feel the need, you want to have wholesome family entertainment, go there and you'll appreciate it. And the award ceremony will be airing live and it will be performed live. You'll have food if you're there. There'll be performances. There will be awards. There'll be awarded. And yes, this show is up for a few of them. In fact, BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson is up for, let me see, Best Intro, New Kids on the Block, Most Versatile Podcast, and Podcast of the Year. Now you can vote. Well, you can vote for the BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson show, either here if you're part of Shift Nation, or if you're watching this on replay, it will be in the description notes below. That is the BS3 Awards coming to you September 8th, live, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and it will be televised on the BS3 Network YouTube channel. Now, back to Shift Nation, we go. And my man, Cool McCain, he was a lead podcast on, and you can catch that tomorrow evening. It's 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Central. Anything Philadelphia Eagles, that's the man you go to. He says, good morning, Hair Shifter in charge. Good morning to you, sir. Snowman, Mr. McCoffey, and the hardest working man in sports podcasting, the Playmaker. That's right. And that comes from the hardest working content creator I know in Cool McCain. The Playmaker says, man, both Alpha and Sika, Wild Samoans, Virgil, Ole Anderson, and now Sid Vicious, R.I.P. legends. Yeah, it's been a rough go this month for wrestling legends. Cool says, rest in paradise to our legends. Forget cancer. Too many gone too soon. Definitely agree to that. Dust, what's up, Big Dust, or Dustin Henry of No Criticism Required? He says, good morning all, and good morning to you, sir. Hope everything is good with you. Hope everything is hope everything is great, because Ryan said that you have a family commitment, and no credits required will not be showing tonight, but be showing tomorrow night. So I hope everything is good with you, sir. It's good to see you. Ryan says, wait. Nobody told me there'd be food at the BS3 Awards. I'm there. Well, yeah, that's how he does it. More power to Ben. Playmaker says, look, don't be passing your Monica to me, Mr. Cool, with 2 laughing emojis. Well, it's great to laugh. Unfortunately, we have to, I guess, remember things the way they are so that we can actually be sane, I guess. That is the fate of one Miss Mariah Carey. As what happened to her was that she had to deal with not one, but 2 passings on the same day. And on today's cover story, we'll touch on how long it's been, how she is, and how she's going to be picking up the pieces from having a sister and a mother pass away at the same day. Mariah Carey's mother, Patricia, and sister Allison died on the same day over the weekend. And this is confirmed by People magazine. In an exclusive statement released to People, the Grammy Award singer, a winning singer said, and songwriter said, quote, "My heart is broken that I've lost my mother this past weekend. Sadly, in a tragic turn of events, my sister lost her life on the same day. I feel blessed that I was able to spend the last week with my mom before she passed. I appreciate everyone's love and support and respect for my privacy during this impossible time." Close quote. Totally will do just that. No other details, including Patricia's and Allison's causes of death, are known at this particular time. Now, you might know Patricia. She was previously married to Alfred Roy Carey. She was a Juilliard-trained opera singer and vocal coach before the couple welcomed Allison, Mariah, and son Morgan. The parents later divorced when Mariah was only 3. And there'll be times you would actually see Mariah and Patricia sing together. What is of note is whenever Patricia would be on stage with Mariah and Mariah would hit one of the whistle notes, Patricia would turn away from being the performer at that time, and you could see her switch to being a mother, just so awed by her daughter's prodigious talent right then and there. And that was a beautiful thing to see. Every single time you would see mother and daughter perform. Mariah's relationship with her mother, from whom her vocal talents were inherited, was complicated throughout her life. In her 2020 memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, she wrote, quote, "Like many aspects of my life, my journey with my mother has been full of contradictions and competing realities. It's never been only black and white. It's been a whole rainbow of emotions. Our relationship is a prickly rope of pride, pain, shame, gratitude, jealousy, admiration, and disappointment. A complicated love tethers my heart to my mother's." Close quote. Yeah, but I think we all could say that at one point in time about our mothers. Despite their ups and downs, Mariah maintained a relationship with her mother. In 2010, they came together for ABC's Mariah Carey Merry Christmas to You special and performed the festive mother-daughter duet of "O Come All Ye Faithful" and "Hallelujah" chorus. Mariah also dedicated her memoir in part to Patricia, saying, quote, "And to Pat, my mother, who through it all, I do believe actually did the best she could. I will love you the best I can, always." Close quote. Mariah's relationship with Allison was also quite complex. The star wrote in the memoir that it was, at least at the time, quote, "emotionally and physically safer for me not to have any contact," close quote, with her or her brother. You know, this time you can have many complications of emotions, but one thing is for certain. When mortality hits, you have no other choice but to bend to that whim and be at one with the emotions that you have and be grateful for the time you spent with them and try to carry on their legacy as best you can with the dignity that you can, with all the dignity you can muster within you. And so, Mimi, I just hope that right now you find it within yourself to heal as much as you can and take as long as you need. Because the beauty of your voice will now only be overshadowed by the beauty of what you have to bring within yourself, because the beauty of the human being will become even brighter with this unfortunate passing of both your mother and your sister. The Lord says that blessed are those who mourn, they shall be comforted. So at this time, I hope that you get a double portion of comfort as you have to deal with two losses at the same time. And that is today's cover story. Now, I know this is a hard transition, but one will be done. Join my man, Chef Jeff, as if you have any dish that you want prepared, any way that you would like for it to be prepared, this is the guy for you. A culinary specialist from many different hotels. He can give you a breakdown of the simplest dishes and even of the most complex dishes, explain with that St. Louis flair. Join Chef Jeff on This Dope Cooking Show. He comes to you live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on Roku TV via BS3, the This Dope Cooking Show YouTube channel, and the BS3 Network YouTube channel. That is This Dope Cooking Show. Join my man, Chef Jeff, live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on Roku TV via BS3. Just hit the BS3 logo on the Roku TV app, BS3TVLive.com, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, and the This Dope Cooking Show YouTube channel. Coming up next, the phenomenon of healing power. How powerful is it when you issue it? How powerful is it when you receive it? That is what's on tap next. You're watching BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on Roku TV via BS3, BS3TVLive.com, and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. You are listening to it live on the Real Wise Radio Network. We will return right after this. This is a BS3 Network presentation. Adrian Shawan.
There was a man talking about where the homebodies at? Where the women at? And the women was stitching it. It was like, we at home.
Scotty Knox.
Another pet peeve of mine, right? First date, if you show up with the ponytail that come out at the top of your head, it will not be a second date.
Butler.
I want people to think independently and freely. She's not. $100 for lunch. I almost got up and walked off.
A show that asks only one question. Is it Wednesday yet? Live every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central.
See everybody talking like they doing what we doing, but these brothers is red, they ain't moving like we moving, and everywhere we go.
Oh, yes. The tradition, the pageantry, the spectacle, the history, the slut. Wait. I gotta rep my brother's stuff right. All my DMV soldiers, stand up! And welcome to the Commander's Gridiron Report. You want your commanders to be repped right? Well, D. Willie is your man. Commander's Gridiron Report. Every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. Eastern, 10:05 a.m. Central on the Sotoba Media YouTube channel. Music by J. Cool.
Where my soldiers? Right side. Commanders. Where my soldiers? Left side.
Are you looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 network that has only 4 words to say to you.
We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all.
The Lunch Break Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. Welcome back to BS Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson. It is great that you're here with me, Shifter. And back to Shift Nation one last time. Victor Lock V like a 3 or Vicala says good morning, one and all in Shift Nation. The supervillain Espresso McWaffy and the super hacker, the playmaker, Kingpin Snowman, and the EP of all EPs, Cole Johnson. Thank you. And also a big shout out to the head eagle in charge, Cool Breeze McCain. Oh, and Cool Laughs at Playmaker being passed the how it is working tag. And he does his greeting to Victor. It's always Vicala. And also he says what's up to Dustin. And the same thing with Snowman. He says good morning to Ryan and V-Lock and Head Eagle Charge, Cool McCain, and the Eagles Elite Podcast. Well, it's a love fest here, and I'm so glad that it is a love fest because that's what it is. That is what being a shifter is all about. Spreading love and being about love. And in essence, that is what healing is about. It's about spreading love and being about love. And if ever we need that understanding, I think many of us are now at a time in our lives where we have to be healing agents, as well as one who needs to be healed as well. How is that possible? You may ask. Well, welcome to Lighting the Way. Father God, in the name of Jesus, I thank you so much for this wonderful day. Thank you for waking me up to do this. Your word says when 2 or 3 are gathered together in your name, you'll be in the midst. So thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for being in the midst. Right now, I raise up my shifters and I raise up even myself to hear this message that you have given to me. May I be divorced from this. May my ego be divorced from it. May my emotion be divorced from it. May my thoughts be divorced from it. None of this is represented by me that you are about to put into me, in my spirit. None of me and all of you is what I want as I disseminate your message through me as a lighthouse to those who hear it, whether live or through replay. May the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be always acceptable in your sight. Lord, you are my rock, my strength, and my redeemer. In Jesus' name, amen. We all need healing. All of us do. Whether it's a straight up paper cut or a death in the family. We all go through grief. We all endure grief. And we all have to support those who go through grief. So, how important is the healing power in the midst of grieving? And I've been dealing with a lot of deaths. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for me, not in the family, but I've been having to deal with a lot of deaths of people that I know, people that I love. And I said, Lord, I know my time is going to be coming where I need to be poured on. I know that. So how can I intercede on behalf of someone who needs my presence for them to be strong? How can I prop them up properly? Because I know I'm going to have to lean on people when it's my turn to be propped up properly. And Jesus said, well, why don't you go to what the prophet Jeremiah said about this? I said, okay. And so my eyes went there, and it focused on healing. And I love the fact that it focused on healing. And in chapter 30, verse 17 of the book of Jeremiah, the prophet said, "For I will restore health to you, and your wounds I will heal, declares the Lord, because they have called you an outcast. It is Zion for whom no one cares." I'll read that again. "For I will restore health to you, and your wounds I will heal, declares the Lord, because they have called you an outcast. It is Zion for whom no one cares." You know, when you go through life and you lick wounds, you sometimes think that you have to do it yourself. And the thing is, you can't. We don't have the power to lick our own wounds. We have to have a supernatural understanding of licking our own wounds. We have to rely on the strength of sometimes strangers and even friends to get us through those times that are harrowing and dangerous and perilous. But man, when you do lean on that power, it is wonderful. And when you actually have that power and you use it in the right way, the beauty you receive in return from the person that you were a wall for and you stood in the gap of, it gets no more appreciative than that. It gets no stronger than that. The bond, it gets no stronger than that. So you might be asking yourself, well, how important is healing? Oh, it's very important. It's so important that even Jesus, whenever I hear someone has passed, I always say the scripture, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." If Jesus says that, then healing is extremely important. Because there's times that in the Bible, it's times actually in Jesus's gospel, where he's like, well, sometimes the dead have to bury the dead. And it took me a long time to understand what he meant by saying that, but I do get it now. He says you can't tie yourself to that moment, because if you do, it will be a phrase that I actually heard former Patriots head coach Bill Belichick say when he was asked a question about the New England Patriots winning championships year after year. The late great broadcaster and play-by-play, color guy, John Madden, he asked Belichick the question, so how is it that you get your troops ready year after year and they still have this high level of performance and excellence? And Belichick simply said, quote, "I just tell my troops, if you live in the past, you die in the present," close quote. And that's what Jesus meant by saying the dead need to bury their dead. Because if we live in that past, that means our present is doomed. And those who have been in our lives that passed away, they don't want us to be stuck. They want us to keep going. They want us to keep going, and they want us to get that memory that they had, the lessons they imparted upon us, so we could pass it down to others. They want us to live in their memory. So when we do this work of ministry, because let's be honest, life is a work of ministry. When we do this work, we can't be encumbered by grief. Now, I'm not saying that if someone were to die in your life today or yesterday or a week ago, that you're like, oh, well, I'm good, and just keep going. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it can't be 4, 5, 6, 7 years later and you are handcuffed and shackled to the moment that you knew your mother or sister or father or son or daughter or niece or nephew or aunt or uncle or grandmother or grandfather passed. Yeah, you'll have your moments where it's like, dang, this is tough. Because you can only get through only get through how you can grieve. That's the truth. You can only get through it. But even Jesus says you can't be tied to that moment, because if you're tied to that moment, you are tying yourself to going nowhere. So why do people repel you when you're grieving? Well, it's a simple case of grieving is tough for a lot of people to really grasp and understand and ascertain. You're grieving. Sometimes you have to be stronger within yourself to help somebody be picked up. And not many have the strength to do that. And I really do mean not many people have the strength. And also, when it comes to being a person who can stand in the gap, it comes with a lot, and I do mean a lot, of empathy. And as time goes on, you'll find out a lot of people lack empathy. The older you get, the more you find out more people lack that superpower. So from the negative, that's why people will repel you. Now, from the positive, in terms of why someone would healthily repel you, you might be going along a little too long saying, oh man, I miss, and you do it publicly. Privately is a different story, because we have to sometimes in our private circles lick our wounds and get prepared and heal properly. It's the same thing as if you break a bone. You can walk on it and keep walking on it and keep walking on it, but you'll develop a limp, and you'll permanently develop a limp if you walk on it and stress it to the point where you stress it too hard. Sometimes you just need to prop that leg up and let it rest. Sometimes you need to prop your own emotions up and rest. You can't be sobbing all over the place all the time. You can sob, yes. But sometimes you need to do this in a private circle where you can lick your wounds, and you can actually be a powerful agent of a champion for somebody. So how should we be toward those going through the grieving process? Well, I'll give an example of how I believe we should be. And I pray that my brother allows me the grace to talk about this. Now, you know the relationship I have with my man Wise Lefe. Well, early this year, he was going through it real tough with his mother. And I don't mean combating. I mean, this woman was and still is his world. And he will do anything, and still would do anything for her. And she was going through some battles. It's unfortunate battles, the battles of life, unfortunately. And so she passed away, and he told me. And the Lord directed me, instead of throwing a whole lot of scriptures at him at the time, and being I don't want to deal with that. No, I was there for him. I was like, man, whatever you need, brother, whatever you need, I'm here for you. If you don't need me to be around, I'm cool with that too. Because grieving is a very tricky thing. There's times you want to be around the whole world. And then there's other times you don't want the world to be even 50 feet from you. And so you have to be cognizant of and aware of when is the right moment to be that confidant, and when is that right moment to just simply stand back and say, yeah, I know you need your time, and take the time, take all the time you need. Brother, I'm here whenever you need me. And that's how I was with him. And he could tell you that's how I was with him. And hopefully he gathered and he got the strength he needed, not just for me, but from his family. Because, I mean, they all had to grieve at the same time. This wonderful figure, this powerful figure passing away. That's tough. You've negotiated your life with this person in it. You have figured life with this person in it. Now you got to figure life without her in it. That's tough for anybody. I don't care who you are. And so I knew he had a circle that was grieving the same loss. I just wanted to provide him the energy of having someone who, yeah, I knew about her, but I never knew her. So the loss isn't going to be as heavy for me, but I empathized. The loss was heavy with me. It felt as though I knew her because the stories that he would tell about her and the energy that still is within him about her, palpable. It was difficult. It was downright impossible for me not to feel that, to not feel that gut punch myself. And so I'm telling you, empathy is a superpower for you. And if you want to actually be the right type of healing agent for somebody, empathize with them. And I tell you, you will go a long way in having your bond get closer because of that. So I know you're saying, oh yeah, all that is good, Cole, but look, what are our lives going to be going forward? What does it entail without that special someone on earth? It's going to be equal parts rough, a bunch of I don't knows, sometimes a bunch of I don't cares, and a bunch of happiness. And why do I say it's a mixture of sadness, anger, apathy, and joy? Sadness because you want this person there so bad, especially when you have life milestones and you can't rush to the phone or rush to the person and embrace them and say, I did it, mom or dad. I did it, son or daughter. I did it, uncle or niece, or uncle or aunt. I did it, niece or nephew. I did it, friend even. Because I can tell you, it's painful when you can't celebrate that beautiful achievement with that special someone. Anger, because you selfishly want that person there and that person isn't there, and you're like, how dare you? And sometimes you even go to God, how dare you, God, take this away from me? Sometimes the grief is so painful, you go to that angry place. This isn't the place and time now. Why are you taking it away from me now? That's what you feel. That's what you sense. Apathy, because you go through all of these emotions and it's like you can't feel a thing. You've cried your last cry at that moment. You've thrown the last chair. You've probably cussed out the last person. And you have tried to keep the stiff upper lip and keep the brave face up. There's times you just don't have the strength to do it anymore. So you just devoid of emotion. And that's okay. That goes for everybody, because grieving is a rough process emotionally, especially if it's right then and there. But then there's the joy. And why the joy? Because you have some who probably are experiencing the possibility of going to the death. Say to you, don't shed tears for me. Think about the good times. Think about me happily going through life. Think about it when things are good. Because that's what I want. I want you to think about me through the good times. Don't think about me in the bad times. And when you do that, you find yourself actually carrying on that memory in a strong way, in a way that even you couldn't conjure having. So the moral of the story, we all need that healing touch from somebody. And we all need to be a healing agent for somebody. To be that in a proper manner, you just have to be aware and you have to lean on the superpower of empathy. Because if you have that in droves, you can go a long way. Trust me on that. Before I head on out, one more time to Shift Nation and my brother Wise Alefe. He says, good morning, Shifters. Good morning to you, my man. Hope everything is good with you. And of course, Victor Lock is greeting everybody. Same thing with Wise. And he says, man, I love and appreciate you, my brother. Well, I love and appreciate you, brother. And everything's good over here. I hope everything's good with you, man. And that does it for this episode of BS Represents More Shift with Cole Johnson. Hope everything is good with you. And now take the blessing that you are and go out into the gospel and preach to the world the gospel to ends the earth. Why should I say that to you? Because you're a blessing. Why do I know that? Because you're a blessing to me. Hopefully, I'm a blessing to you. And I will always say this in parting, as I always do, from BS3, from Coming Media Incorporated, and from The Morning Shift. If you lack commitment, you will never start. If you lack consistency, you'll never finish. And if you lack love, I guarantee you, you most certainly will never conquer. Until we do this again in 23-hour shifters, I love you. God bless you. Continue to be the blessing that you are. And have a great rest of your morning, great rest of your day. So long.